Welcome to the deep dive.
Today, we're looking at what it takes to create a really successful podcast focused on summarizing books, getting right to the good stuff, kind of like that fictional chapter crunch idea.
Right. We want to explore what makes something like that truly click for listeners, people who want the knowledge but don't always have time for the full read.
So, our mission here is to really understand the key elements that make these kinds of summaries engaging, useful, and, well, just work.
Yeah, and we've sort of boiled it down to four main areas based on what seems essential. First, those summaries need to be genuinely captivating.
Okay. Captivating summaries.
Then you need practical insight stuff people can actually use.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Actionable takeaways.
Third is interactivity,
Mm.
making the audience feel involved somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, having a really dynamic structure for each segment or episode keeps things flowing.
Okay, let's dive into that first one then. Captivating summaries. This is more than just a book report, right? Oh, absolutely. It's not just, plot points A, B, and C. It's about digging out the core ideas, the main arguments, the big lessons.
And presenting them in a way that's compelling, succinct.
Exactly. Compelling and succinct. Listeners want to get the essence quickly, thoroughly, but without feeling like they're drowning in information.
So how do you make it captivating? What are the tricks, maybe?
Well, one thing is to maybe focus on the most surprising parts of the book or the counterintuitive ideas.
Okay, the stuff that makes you go, huh, really?
Yeah. Or using strong, sort of evocative language to describe the concepts, not just dry facts.
Painting a picture almost.
Kind of. And sometimes, if it fits, you can connect the book's ideas to bigger themes or things happening right now. Makes it feel more relevant.
Right, if the source material supports that connection.
Of course. The main thing is giving enough detail to spark that curiosity, make them understand the core, but not so much that it feels overwhelming.
Got it. Tease the value without giving everything away or becoming a slog. Okay, moving on to the second point. Practical insights. This feels really key. People want to know how to apply this stuff.
It's crucial. It's the bridge between, okay, I understand this concept, and okay, now I know what to do with it. It's about those aha moments.
The so what question.
Exactly that. How does this book's wisdom actually translate into someone's life or work? That's what a good summary podcast should help with.
So how do you do that effectively? How do you bake in those practical applications?
Well, you constantly need to be asking, how can someone use this? So if a book's about, say, better communication,
Right.
you don't just say communication is important. You maybe brainstorm specific phrases someone could try or small behavioral changes based on the book's advice.
Concrete examples.
Yes, concrete examples are gold. Maybe share relevant anecdotes if the book has them, or even quick case studies. It's about showing the transformative potential.
Making it real and actionable. I like that. Okay, number 3 was interactivity. How does that work in a format that's mostly one way?
It's a challenge, but it's definitely possible. It's about creating a feeling of connection, like it's more of a conversation, even if the listener isn't talking back in real time.
So you're trying to foster a sense of community, almost.
Exactly. And make the listening experience feel more active, less passive.
What kinds of things can you actually do for interactivity?
Well, you can pose thought-provoking questions in the episode related to the book, get people thinking about their own views.
Yeah, reflective prompts.
Or explicitly ask for listener input. What book should we cover next? What were your takeaways from this book? Maybe use social media for polls.
Okay, like asking for suggestions or feedback.
Yeah, polls are great. Which of these topics are you most interested in? Things like that. And just generally encouraging people to share their thoughts, maybe responding to comments sometimes. It builds that connection.
Makes it feel like their voice matters in shaping the show.
It does.
All right, the final piece was dynamic structure.
Yeah.
Having a clear format seems important for this kind of focused content.
Absolutely. A predictable structure helps listeners navigate the information easily and respects their time. They know what's coming.
And the structure you outlined was brief intro, key summary, practical insights, iconic quotes, and then a conclusion.
That's the framework, yeah.
Yeah.
Each part serves a specific purpose.
Let's break that down. The brief intro, that's the hook.
Totally. Grab them fast, introduce the book, its main idea, maybe why it's relevant, and give a super quick outline of what you'll cover in this segment. Set the stage.
Okay. Then the key summary. This is the core content dump.
Well, maybe not dump. More like the focused delivery of the essential arguments and takeaways. Concise, engaging, the real meat of it.
Gotcha. The essential information. present it clearly,
Yeah.
then practical insight.
Yeah, this is where you zoom in on the how-to, actionable steps, real-world examples, maybe some motivational angles drawn from the book.
Making it directly applicable.
Exactly.
And I like the iconic quotes part. Why include that specifically?
Quotes can be really powerful. They're memorable. They often capture the essence of an idea in the author's own words. And they can just, stick with you, add a bit of flavor.
Nice little nuggets of wisdom. And finally, the conclusion.
Right. Just wrap it up. Quickly recap the main points covered. Maybe offer a final thought or a little nudge, like suggesting they read the full book if they're intrigued.
Or perhaps tease the next topic.
Or tease the next deep dive, yeah.
Hmm.
Provides closure and reinforces the value.
So it seems like crafting a successful book summary podcast, something like this, Chapter Crunch, really hinges on nailing these 4 things. You need those truly captivating summaries.
That go beyond just plot.
The practical, actionable insights people can actually use.
So what?
Finding ways to build in interactivity, make it feel like a conversation.
Yeah, building community?
And wrapping it all in a dynamic, predictable structure. Intro, summary, insights, quotes, conclusion.
Get those right. And you're providing real value, efficient, engaging learning.
Definitely. It's about respecting the listener's time while still delivering something substantial.
So here's something for you, the listener, to think about. Instead of just summarizing, what if the focus was always on identifying the core problem the book is trying to solve, and then clearly laying out the author's proposed solution and what that actually looked like in the real world? How might framing it that way, problem, solution, implication, change how you engage with and use the summary?
That's a really sharp angle. Focusing on the problem-solution dynamic definitely gives you a clear path for finding those key insights. Well, this has been a great deep dive into what makes these summaries tick. Thanks.
Glad to explore it.